Hi, I'm Chloe Flower, and I'm a concert pianist and composer. I studied here in New York City at Juilliard and in London at the Royal Academy of Music, and I'm so excited to be part of the Stelle Audio We Speak Her campaign. So, behind me is Liberace's actual concert touring piano. It's from the 50s, I believe, and it's made of all mosaic glass and crystal. The Liberace Foundation has generously loaned it to me for the next couple years, so I'm able to do all my covers, all of my practicing on Liberace's piano. And every morning I wake up, I feel like he's here. So I love classical music. I'm a classical pianist, but on my off time, in between concertos, I love hip-hop and playing to hip-hop. So basically my process is I figure out what song I want to play, I go to the charts, I go to my followers, and then I just start writing chords to it. Check the charts, see what's hot, and see what I'm in the mood for. I am in the mood for, I think I like it. So I'll play the song on my Stelle Audio, my favorite speaker. I always try to warm up with something in the same key. So since Cardi B is in F minor, I'll do something in F minor, like. So first I learn the chords. That was me learning chords. So I started playing the piano when I was 2, and I'm not going to tell you how old I am, but when I was 2, we had telephone books. And so I just sit on a telephone book and a pillow. But my mother always knew that I wanted to be a pianist because when I was in the crib, before I could walk or talk, she would play classical music. And when this one particular song came on, Beethoven Piano Concerto No. 3, I don't particularly love that song right now, but when I was less than 1, every time that song came on, I recognized it, and I would get up and start doing my baby dance, yelling and being really happy. So my mom was like, okay, let's give her music lessons. I knew that I was going to be a musician. I had no problem practicing 4 hours a day, even when I was 4 or 6 years old. I loved sitting at the piano all day long. No one had to force me. In high school, I was forced to play a little bit longer than I wanted to. I had to make a lot of sacrifices, but I look back and I'm so grateful that I did make those sacrifices, because now, I've been scoring films. I scored Misty Copeland's A Ballerina Tale by Nelson George. I've scored most of Kevin Hart's TV, movie, and online work. I've worked with the most amazing artists like 2 Chainz. I just produced his last album. I did a song with Meek Mill recently, and I've signed to Babyface. I took piano lessons my whole life, but I didn't start taking serious piano lessons, conservatory level piano lessons, until I was 12, which is extremely late. That's like being 30 in Hollywood. So I started taking lessons, serious piano lessons, at 12 at the Manhattan School of Music here in New York City. I was so behind compared to everyone else who had started taking serious conservatory level training at 4. So I had to practice, 12 hours a day just to catch up. So I would wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning, practice before I had to leave at 7 for school. By the time I was in high school, I was able to leave school at 10:30, 11 o'clock, practice until 8, every day. So, and I didn't mind. I didn't mind the sacrifice because I knew there was something bigger coming ahead. I was so excited when they asked me to come perform at Disney Hall. I brought Babyface with me to do Change the World, and we sold out the entire venue right away. And it was so exciting for me because, classical music doesn't always have that impact. And to have that many people excited about classical music, and then to also have the legendary Babyface on stage with me, it was just like the most amazing experience of my life. So my favorite performance of all time has to be in St. Petersburg, Russia at the Hermitage. It was my first standing ovation, so I was really excited. Piano is a very solitary instrument, so you're always by yourself. You're not playing with an orchestra. You're not playing chamber music very often, so you build a really strong connection with your teacher, and that's what I had. Basically, I just saw my teacher. I had piano lessons twice a week for an hour to 2 hours, plus a studio session. My favorite classical pianist has always been Yevgeny Kissin. That's just my personal preference, and he has inspired me. I've always wanted to be like him. But at the same time, I also really was inspired by Beyonce. I think that's where the crossover thing happened. So I always encourage parents and kids to learn an instrument. I think the problem is parents often think that the child has to be talented or have an interest in music in order to benefit from music education, which is not true. Anyone, whether they want to become a professional musician or not, benefits from music education. It's the most egalitarian activity for kids because you could have a 5-year-old Asian girl sharing a music stand with a 17-year-old Russian boy. It's like it's for everyone, and it doesn't matter. You can even be blind and still learn an instrument. So I think that that's an important tool for young kids to get to know other genders, building relationships with other cultures. So I really always encourage parents, whether their kids show an interest or whether they are talented, to learn an instrument and pick up an instrument, whether it's piano or violin. I always say it's never too late to start an instrument. I tell a lot of my 50-year-old followers to learn an instrument because it's actual exercise for your brain. It's the only part of your brain memory that never is lost. So Alzheimer's patients never lose music memory, and it actually stimulates other synapses in your brain. So when you are listening to music or when you're actively playing music, people with Alzheimer's or people with autism, they get better and they remember other things, and they become more, in the case of autism, they become more social as a result of an actual instrument being present to them and then also playing it. I would say to parents that it's never too young to start lessons, whether it's piano or a stringed instrument or singing. You can start at 2 years old. I would say get a good teacher, definitely by 6, preferably by 6. If you see your child excelling, you want to get them a professional so they can really have an advantage. I wish I had that. You're supposed to practice Bach before you record it. It's really transparent. Alexa, play Chopin.
Shuffling songs by Frédéric Chopin.